the hidden 0% funding strategy. So what if I told you that you could fund your business at 0% interest? That is free money up until a certain period of time, of course. I mean, you know, if there is a catch, that would be it. So anything from 6 months all the way up to 24 months not having any interest to pay. Do you know how much pressure that takes off of you? Here's how. So you can do all of this without investors, without banks, and without begging anyone. Now, how do you do this? Now, I'm talking about 0% interest, business, credit cards, very, very low hanging fruit, okay? I'm going to tell you the particulars or the kind of profile that you're going to need in order to get in from the ground up. There are stipulations that you're going to need. They're not just giving this money away or giving these cards away. Obviously, just like some of the other things in which I've mentioned, 680 plus in order to qualify. But once you get in, there's a free period. So there's no pressure, as I've said to you before. So you can get cards on the personal side, you can get them on the business side. If you're opting for the personal side, the periods of 0% APR or 0% interest are much longer than the business side, but there are ways and strategies in which you can extend the 0% interest periods for up to 3, 4, even 5 years. I'm not going to get into that now, that's a bit more technical. Okay, so these are business startup friendly. So if you need inventory, you're going to need inventory if you're, let's say, into e-commerce, which space I was in for around about 15 years. You're going to need marketing irrespective of what business you're in. This is a perfect vehicle or perfect product in order to do that. So what do you need in order to qualify? On the personal side, 680 plus, okay? Now, if your score is a little bit lower or on the lower side, you can piggyback off of somebody else's credit and they are not going to suffer in any which way. It's called an authorized user. It's basically what you're doing is you've got a credit partner. So this is your credit partner. They've got good credit. Let's say they've got a 650. Sorry, not 650, a 750. They are authorizing you as a user. It doesn't mean you're going to use their card. It doesn't mean you've got access to their card. You're just piggybacking off of their good credit history. And basically, once underwriters, people who authorize loans, etc., once they see that, it boosts your credit score, or it boosts your, let's say, one thing it does do, which I haven't mentioned, it actually lowers your utilization if your utilization is high. Now you may be saying to yourself, okay, they're only credit cards. What if I need access to cash? Let's say you're in the real estate game. No worries. There are companies out there, okay, and if you want to know what those are, just comment below. There are companies out there where you can liquidate these credit cards, and the liquidation percentage that company is going to charge you is far lower than a cash advance, because you don't want to be doing cash advances because the percentage or the interest in which you're going to be charged on a cash advance is just simply ridiculous. Now we're moving up to the big leagues only. Okay, this is for advanced funding options only. Now let's say you're making money. Okay, you've got cash flow coming in, you've got revenue coming in. You can step into the bigger leagues and you can get business funding. And the great thing is you can get business funding in the United States of America at some of the lowest interest rates in the country, simply because of the fact that you have a track record. So here comes a heavyweight champion of loans in order to get in on the ground floor at low interest rates. It's the SBA 7A loan, backed by the government. So because of the fact that 80% of the loan is backed by the government, this is one of the reasons why with the SBA 7A loan, you can basically get the lower interest rates, because the banks aren't taking on as much risk by extending you this. The catch, if there is one, of which I've mentioned before, you need to have been in business for at least 2 years or more, have cash flow coming in, okay, have a track record, have tax returns, have paperwork, have P&Ls, etc., etc. So the SBA is the heavyweight champion of the world, which is what I call it, of loans. Reason being, interest rates are low, it's backed by the US government, 80% of the loan is backed by the US government, so there's less risk by way of the banks. You can get anything from $50,000 all the way up to $5 billion. Ka-ching, baby. So next up, we've got lines of credit, which is one of my favorites. Now, why is it one of my favorites? Reason being, it's similar to a credit card, but it's not credit. It's actual cash in your account. So let me give you an example. Let's say, let me pick a number out of the sky. Let's say you've got a line of credit of 50,000. All right, let's say you've got a marketing campaign on Facebook. You used to do them all the time. I used to be into e-commerce, was in it for around about 15 years. So you got this 50 grand in your account. It's not credit, it's cash. Let's say you want to run a Facebook campaign for 10 grand for the month. Okay, you run that for 10 grand. You're only going to be paying interest on the 10 grand. Let's say the revenue that comes in from those ads, you bring in 20 grand, so you double your money. You pay back the 10 grand only. So you're not charged on the rest. So the 40 grand that's remaining in the account, you're not charged on that. You're only charged interest, as I've mentioned before, on the 10 grand. You replenish it because you've made 20 grand. You're 10 grand now in the green, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So the beauty of this, it's raw cash in your account. You're only charged the interest on what you borrow, and you can get the credit lines extended continuously as long as you're making good on the money in which you're taking off in the first place. So it gives you breathing room. Okay, you replenish it, 50 grand just sits there. It sits there for however long you want it to until you use it. No interest charge, lines of credit. Beautiful, baby.